Well, good morning, one and all. Almost afternoon, actually. Late deadline today. Things you love to see. How is everyone? Happy deadline day. It is finally here. The dreaded game week 29, blank game week 29 is upon us. And yeah, I mean, lots to think about. I think a lot of people haven't necessarily made all of their transfers yet. I've still got transfers to make ahead of this week. It's a weird one because it's going to be a low scoring game, and it's also one of the most hyped up game weeks of the season. We're not going to see too many points flying about this week, but at the same time, it feels exciting. It feels exciting because if you've planned well, you're probably thinking, I can make some gains here. Some of you guys will be on free hits, so you'll be excited about that. Some people will be on wild cards as well, I've seen, so maybe you're excited about that. For me personally, as someone who is, I don't know, semi-prepared for this week, I guess I'm a little bit excited, but I need to just remind myself to calm down and manage my expectations a little bit with this game week, because it is going to be low scoring. We're not going to see any crazy scores, although you never know, maybe we do. It's going to be interesting. It's also going to be a super swingy game week as well, I think, because the template, if you like, you know, all of these picks that you see in all of the top managers' teams seems to be blown apart a little bit. Some people are selling Palmer, some people are selling Isak, some people are selling Salah. Previously, everyone had all three. Now we're going to see a situation where a lot of people are going without one or two of those guys, maybe even three, but probably not. We're seeing different people going for different defenders. Some people taking the Nottingham Forest route, others taking the Wolves route, or I've seen Manchester United route as well. Who else? Who else is defending this week? I mean, a few teams are defending this week. But yeah, it's going to be a crazy one. Like different Forest midfielders as well. I've seen some people go for Alanga. A lot of people go for Alanga. Some people going for Gibbs White. And who else? Hudson-Odoi. Who is a pick that I really, really like. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. A lot of people taking their FPL teams in slightly different directions. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see who pays off. But inevitably, everyone's going to blank and we're all going to be very miserable. Kind of like last game week was a bit of a letdown game week. There wasn't too many players scoring points last week, really. Well, certainly it was difficult to hit a lot of them. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. So who have we got in the chat today? Let's see here. So Ange says he's taken a -8. Crazy stuff. Niju says, my team is all red kit except for Haaland. I've seen a lot of red kits flying around. Duncan's here. Good morning, Duncan. M. Brown is considering Marmoush as the captain. Oh, I don't know about that one, Chief. I do not know about that one, Chief. I mean, I guess you could. It is a bit risky for minutes in particular. Like, you know, I think Marmoush probably does start today in a couple of hours. There is a chance we get a leak. There is a chance we get a leak, but ultimately, like, he's a 70-minute man, isn't he? Dan Cross is here as well. Good morning, Dan. Jan Henning is here as well. Good morning, Jan. Thoughts on Mazraoui as a 1-week punt? Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. The odds do quite like the look of the Manchester United defence this week. It's because they're playing Leicester, and Leicester have just been so poor in attack that even Manchester United might be able to keep a clean sheet there. But I would never be super confident about Man United. But hey, I don't mind it. I don't mind it too much. Robert is thinking of a -12 this morning. Crazy stuff. I mean, at what point do you just think, oh, maybe it's just time to free hit a wild card? I think if I was getting to the -12 kind of area, I think I'd start thinking about a wild card or a free hit. Depends what your squad looks like, I suppose. Mark says, taking a punt on Manetzi this week. Decent numbers and lovely fixture. You know what? I don't mind Manetzi as a shout. I actually really don't mind. I think you could do a lot worse. Jake O'Brien, Leak Crew reckons, or Wan-Bissaka this week. Oh, if it helps, the #1 player in FPL right now, whose name is Charlie, he's bought Wan-Bissaka this week. So, I don't know. Jake O'Brien, though. I don't know. What about Mikolenko? A little bit cheaper. If you want to go Everton defence. And by the way, I was checking out the latest odds. And Everton are now favourites for a clean sheet this week. They're like the most likely team for a clean sheet this week. Shall I show you? Probably should, shouldn't I? Okay, let me find it for you. Because, yeah, ta-da. Right, here we go. Let's have a little root through these and see what we can see. So, clean sheet odds. Everton are now up to 38%. 38%. That's rather high. But it's interesting. As a Pickford owner, I don't hate that. I'm not gonna say no to that. We don't mind it. And second place, we now have Arsenal, who were previously joint with Everton, but Everton's clean sheet odds have improved, and I think Arsenal's have dropped by 1%, I believe. And then after that, we've got Wolves and Man United and Forest, joint third after that, followed by Man City. Fulham have actually gone above Bournemouth in the clean sheet odds this week, which is, I don't know, is that unexpected? What's it? I'm frozen. Why am I frozen? I don't think I'm frozen. I hope I'm not frozen. If I'm frozen, let me know in the chat. So yeah, we've got Fulham 27%. So if you're a Castagna owner or a Robinson owner, well, I think that looks pretty good. You keep freezing for me every 3 seconds. Everything looks good on my end. Internet's looking good. Stream's looking good. I was frozen. Maybe it's when I was opening new tabs on my computer. It may have caused a little bit of lag. Maybe it's time to update my hardware. I've had this this laptop for 3 years now. Might be time for an upgrade soon. Expensive though. May have to open up a Patreon account to fund some new hardware. But anyway, so yeah, clean sheet odds I think are yeah looking reasonably good in multiple areas where I think most of us will be invested. There's nothing super high here. We've got no 40%, 50% pluses here, but still, I think there's a lot of teams with a fighting chance of a clean sheet here, which is rather nice. On the other hand, we've got the projected goals, and Man City have actually dropped a little bit here. I think they were above Bournemouth at one point, but now Bournemouth are, number one most likely team to keep a clean sheet this week, which is pretty wild. I'm not sure I expected that, to be honest, but that's where we're at. I actually don't think Brentford are that bad of a defence at the moment, but they did concede a lot of chances to Aston Villa last week. Maybe a little fortunate to only lose 1-0 in that game. So I wonder if that has impacted things a little bit. But we are going to see Bournemouth as the team most likely to score the most goals, followed by Manchester City, then followed by Fulham. It's very difficult to tell you who will score for Fulham, other than maybe Raul Jimenez, who I really do like as a punt, by the way. And then Manchester United, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Wolves. Nottingham Forest down at 1.65 projected goals, by the way. It's nothing crazy. Let's have a look at the individual players next. And the top projected scorers. We've got Haaland, 0.73 projected goals for this game week. Raul Jimenez, 0.57. And Wood, 0.55. So yes, indeed, we see Chris Wood in third place and not second. Which is good. Which is yeah, I think it's good for me as someone who is going to try and bet against Wood this week. We'll see how that goes. But, I mean, honestly, I look at this and think, hey, 45% chance of, I know it's not exactly how it works. It's actually 40, okay, so it's 48% chance. Is that right? 58. Oh no, it's 58% chance that Wood doesn't score this game week. That is a bet I am willing to take. 58% chance that I get away with this one. Do I get away with it? I don't know. I'm taking a risk against Wood this week, but the odds are in my favour apparently. To be fair, though, the only player who is actually more likely to score than not is Erling Haaland. And Raul and Wood are the second and third most likely to score there, as we can see. Kluivert in third is really nice. And you know what's interesting? He has obviously those higher points per goal, which does make me wonder, according to these projections, it actually kind of looks like Kluivert is a better captain than Wood. But I think that's very difficult to argue that case. You can't hear me now. What is going on? Everything on my end looks good. You sure it's not on your end, Jayed? Or is this just... am I just getting trolled now? I think I'm probably getting trolled now, aren't I? Okay. I'm just going to assume that everyone can hear, see, and everything me. Unless I can't hear or see myself. It's fine. I'm getting trolled. All right, fair enough. Jarhead, it sounds like this is a problem on your end and not mine. Everyone else seems to be hearing it perfectly well. But anyway, back to FPL. Kluivert, super interesting. And I don't hate the Kluivert captain punt. Penalty taker, in good form. His underlying numbers are actually better than I thought they were as well. They have been improving. I may as well show you guys. So let's go 6 game week range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's go per start, expected points, and we'll hide low minutes players because they're going to interrupt my data. And Kluivert's on the first page here. There you go. In fact, if we look through players who actually will play this week, it is Dango's probably going to be benched. So let's go you. I guess Jaden has to go in technically. Wood, Decore, Beto, and I guess Gavardio. Show any selected players. Of course, we're on Fantasy Football Hub, by the way, guys. Link in the description. So Kluivert's on the first page for expected points per start. 4.79 is not too bad at all, really, here. It's really not too bad. So, I think there's a few players in here that are pretty interesting. I think there's a few captain opportunities here. We're probably most looking at Mbeumo, Haaland, Wood, Kluivert, Bruno Fernandes, of course, is going to be popular for a captain as well. Though Kluivert is putting up better numbers than him right now, but obviously all competitions count. It's an interesting one. I wonder if anyone will go for the Kluivert captain this week. We'll do a poll. Sutton Explorer with a £5 super chat says, considering a -8 to clear out Alisson, Trent and Rodgers, not sure who yet, worth a hit. Also, here is a £5 towards the new hardware, Dad. Thank you very much, Sutton Explorer. Mucho appreciado. It's an interesting one. I think it's difficult to kind of suggest a -4 for a goalkeeper, just because, if someone offered you 4 points for your goalkeeper this week, I think most of us would probably take it. I think 4 points for a goalkeeper is probably good enough. I think the difference is with Trent is there's a good chance he is injured for multiple weeks, so you are going to need a replacement regardless. And Rodgers is a player who, there's some good opportunities to replace him with some other players. So Trent and Rodgers are certainly two players I would consider taking a -4 to remove both of those guys. Pick up a cheap defender to replace Trent, or maybe go for Gavardio, but regardless, you are going to free up a little bit of money. And that's going to allow you to upgrade Rodgers to, if you haven't got a Kluivert, then you probably go there. If not, we've got the likes of Semenyo or the Forest midfielders. My two favourite Forest midfielders are Gibbs White and Hudson-Odoi, but a lot of others will say go for Elanga. I do prefer the other guys though. I've just not been super convinced by Elanga recently. I'm not sure. I'm struggling to be convinced by him. So I do prefer Hudson-Odoi if you want to go cheap, or Gibbs White if you've got a little bit more cash to splash. And I think I'm going to go the Gibbs White route, to be perfectly honest. Who, by the way, last time Gibbs White played against, so I need to play for 2 weeks. Last time Gibbs White played against Manchester United. Did he play against Ipswich? It might have been a game he didn't play. I know he did. He blanked against Ipswich. But when he played Manchester United last, and that was away from home, goal and an assist. Beautiful stuff. Of course, Manchester United at home is the game week 30 fixture, so that's quite interesting there. So yeah, I do like the look of Gibbs-White. I think that's probably where I'm going to go. By the way, this is what my team is looking like right now. I have made one transfer already, so I swapped out Trent Alexander-Arnold for Nico Williams. However, I've got 2 more free transfers, and the plan is Palmer to Gibbs-White and Ndiaye to Haaland, and that will sort everything out. Give me a nice 4-4-2. I'll still have Dango, but the thing is, I was thinking about selling Dango, but all it's going to do is give me a benching headache next week, so I might not bother, because it would be for a hit anyway. I'm going to have to make back. Let's assume Dango gets a 1-pointer. I'm going to need a player to... Well, if I'm taking a -4, I need a player to score 5 points or more, really. And then it doesn't even really help me for next week anyway. Good morning, Matt. Mark says, I respect the opinion, Dan, but I find it quite tough to back players like Hudson-Odoi, who, if I'm not mistaken, has scored all his goals from outside the box this season. It's just what he does, though, man. Like, that's kind of his thing. It's his signature move. Although, is it all goals outside the box? To get the goal against Man City last week wasn't outside the box, was it? He kind of drove in, kind of on the right side, inside. Not even inside, it was quite a tight angle, went near post. That was inside the box. But yeah, he is certainly a player who likes shooting from outside the box. It's just his classic manoeuvre. And he'll take a couple of those shots a game. He took a shot like that against City as well. It hit the woodwork. So, he comes close. But if that is discouraging, I totally understand. But it's kind of like Cliver, who's been doing a lot of that recently as well. And people are more than happy to back Cliver. He's a player who often scores from outside the box as well. The penalties do help with Cliver, those, don't they? Some guy called Ben says, do my current -4 or do a -8 for Ouattara for Bruno. Hey, I mean, if you can do Ouattara to Bruno, like, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, it depends what the other moves are. Appreciate it's difficult to fit it all into a super chat, but it depends what the -4 is. If doing a -8 involves selling the likes of Salah, Isak, and Palmer, you maybe have to be a bit more cautious about it, to be honest. Asu, good morning. Yes, welcome to the biggest blank game week of the season so far, because we are expecting a bigger one in game week 34. Nudrick says, if not free hitting this week, when could be the next best timing? It's gonna be game week 33 or game week 34, and that's going to depend on whether you want a free hit on a double game week or a blank game week. Anurag says, I have 10 players, 1 free transfer. I will be doing Trent to Gvardiol, thinking of Rodgers out for a -4. We'll have 7.5 million for a midfielder. Already have Semenyo, Clive, Palmer. Thoughts on Morgan Gibbs-White, Trossard, or anyone else? I'd go for Morgan Gibbs-White, and I think I would. If you need one more player, I know you don't need one more player because you'll be doing Trent to Gvardiol, so that will give you 11 players. Do you even need to do that? You could just not do the Trent move and just sell Rodgers instead, and maybe go for Alanga or Hudson-Odoi, unless you need an extra defender. Something to think about, Anurag. But in general, I don't mind that -4. I don't mind it. Ben says, my other moves from -4 are Palmer, Rodgers, Hall, Wisser for Haaland, Williams, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Bowen. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, if you can avoid selling Isak and Salah, who I guess are on your bench, then I would probably just keep them. Slidjet says, Haaland, Wood, Marmoush, Palmer, Semenyo, and Burma, Robinson, Knight, Nori, Kirkes, Mikalenko, Jose Sarr. Just basically asking for suggestions on the team. Well, you've got a full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You've got 11 men. No need to do anything, right? Yeah, you don't need to make it. You don't need to make any transfers. If you've got 11 men ready to go, particularly if you've got some of the bigger players, Haaland, Wood, Bruno, Cliver, and Burmo. I'm not saying you need all of these players, but if you've got a few from that kind of pack of players, then yeah, I think you're probably good to go, particularly if you've got a few of those main guys, and then you've also got, you know, just some supplementary players. You've got like 10 or 11 players. I think you're good. I think you're good. Hungbok Lee says, is that some sort of full 11 flex we get in here? It feels like it, doesn't it? It feels like it. He's got 3 free transfers as well. I'm guessing this is a person who's probably used a wild card recently, though, or maybe taken hits recently. Luke says, who is a better option, Elanga or Hudson-Odoi for 2 weeks? I prefer Hudson-Odoi because Elanga is not doing the business right now. He's not. And Hudson-Odoi, yes, he's shooting from anywhere, but it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Morgan Gibbs White or Semenyo for the next 2 weeks. I like them both. I think I would go for Gibbs White though. I think I'll go for Gibbs White. Well, I am going to go for Gibbs White. The -4, by the way, I'm considering is replacing Castagna for Semenyo. But I just don't know if it's worth it. Just don't know if it's worth it. I don't think I'm going to bother, to be honest. Dan Cross playing without a keeper this week, I think. Honestly, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Like, I think the amount of minuses that will be being thrown around this week for what will end up being a low-scoring week, I think playing with 10 men is fine. As long as the man who's not playing is a goalkeeper or a defender, I think it's totally fine to play with 10 men. I really don't see a problem. Do you mean Dango for Semenyo and not Castagna? Is that what I said? I meant Dango for Semenyo, yeah, sorry. Nudrick says, so I don't free hit this week. Let's say I do. Okay, so basically you wildcard in 31. This is my plan anyway, and I think it's probably... There's 2 best chip strategies for me. They both involve wildcarding in game week 31, possibly 30, but more than likely 31. And then you would either bench boost 32 and free hit in 33, or free hit in 33. No, or sorry, bench boost in 33 and free hit in 34. So you basically, when we have the information about the blanks and double game weeks, which we will have by the game week 31 deadline, hopefully, you're basically left with a decision. Do you build your wildcard team for the blanks, or do you build your wildcard team for the doubles? If you build your wildcard team for the blanks, that means you free hit on the doubles. If you build your wildcard team for the doubles, you will free hit for the blanks, if that makes sense. So that way you make sure you can cover both the doubles, get as many double game week players as possible, get as many blank game week players as possible. One will use your wildcard to maximize, the other one will use your free hit to maximize in that kind of strategy. So it'll go one way or the other. And for me, it really depends on the FA Cup result of Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Because if Fulham beat Crystal Palace in the FA Cup, then that's going to mean Crystal Palace will double in 32, but not 33. So in 32, we'll want to load up on double game week players for Crystal Palace and Newcastle, knowing full well that these players won't double in 33. So therefore, it's going to be much more difficult to make the transition from the doublers in 32 to the doublers in 33 to then to avoid the blankers in game week 34. And the best way of navigating in that scenario would be to wildcard with triple Newcastle, triple Palace, who won't blank in 34, but that will leave you with less double game week players for 33, so you therefore free hit in game week 33. And that is kind of this strategy I came up with like a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it looks good. It looks really strong, but it does depend on Crystal Palace losing in the FA Cup in a couple of weeks. And I think it's like it's a really tough game to call. Fulham are at home to Crystal Palace, of course, which does help Fulham's cause. But Crystal Palace have been in good form recently. They really have. So that's my ship strategy. Got a couple of super chats here. Anurag says, regarding previous chat, we'll have 11 without the -4, but one of them is Greaves. So basically a -4 to sell Rodgers and bench Greaves, and we'll have 7.5 million for a midfielder. Yeah, it's probably worth it because it means you get to play with an extra attacker. It is probably worth it. Smee says, Captain Bruno. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Crispy says, can you give yellow cards for all the people who aren't liking the live stream? I can, but there will be quite a lot of yellow cards to give out. But sure. If you haven't liked the live stream yet, all of you. Oh, there's so many of you. There we go. That's your first warning, all of you. Like the live stream. It was one click. It was one click, and it helps out. It helps out, and it's appreciated. What else we got? Do you know what Sim is doing? No, I don't actually. Shall I text him? In fact, he might even be live on TikTok right now. Let's see. I'm going to go check to see if Sim's live on TikTok. Because I think he's been doing some live streams on TikTok recently. Who might be on the Fantasy Football Hub TikTok. No, I don't think he is live there. Oh well. Right, anyway, there's some yellow cards given out. Let's continue on. What is the best goalkeeper in a wild card? I mean, if you're in a wild card, you probably need a goalkeeper duo. And you probably pick one with... Yeah, it's so difficult. You basically need to choose a path now on a wild card. And I haven't thought about it enough. I'm probably not the person to advise on wild card stuff this week, because honestly, I haven't really deeped it. But you basically will need to commit to teams who will definitely play. You'll need to have a goalkeeper who will definitely play in all game weeks. Maybe one with a chance of a double is the other one. So one with a chance of a double and a blank. Unless you pick two players from either side of the fixture. So, for example, you could go like Leno and Henderson, for example. That way you're guaranteed to get a playing goalkeeper for all of the weeks, and also guaranteed to get a double game week goalkeeper for one of the weeks. So that's possible as a strategy, I guess. Yeah, there might need to be a lot of that, to be fair. It's difficult. When to play the assistant manager? Ideally game week 31, but yeah, it's not going to be... Or game week... Could you play at game week 30? It depends how your team is set up, to be honest. If you're free hitting this week, that might set up a quite a nice assistant manager from game week 30. But if you're not free hitting this week, might be more difficult. Any leaks from Man City lineup? No, we're a bit early, to be honest, for leaks. I don't expect to see any for another hour, really, to be honest. Best midfielders for 5.2 or below, apart from Hudson-Odoi. It's a wasteland, man. It's an absolute wasteland. Let me show you how much wasteland is. I mean, Manetzi, Bellegarde spring to mind immediately, but it's not great. Let's check out what what are we looking for? 29.30, 5.2 or less. It's probably going to be Bellegarde, Manetzi. It's going to put Hudson-Odoi here as well. Oh, Minter as well. Nwaneri, I'm not super confident on, just because of players returning from injury for Arsenal. Minter, would I go there? I guess maybe, if you don't really have a choice. Manetzi is a punt I like. There you go. He's on there. Sharda. Hudson-Odoi is on there as well. So I think I would probably go for... Wow, I can't say Hudson-Odoi. So therefore, I guess we have to say Minter or Manetzi. Maybe Bellegarde. But I'm not super keen on any of them. Sun Explorer says, how can FPL make goalkeepers more viable next season? They seem to be an afterthought generally. I think that's just always been the case with FPL. I don't really think there needs to be a change with goalkeepers, to be honest. They are worse, to be fair, they are worse this year than ever, just because of the way the bonus point system has been restructured. But that also impacts defenders. Also, penalty saves has been nerfed. But if a goalkeeper scores, this is like 10 points for it. I've forgotten what it is now. It happens so infrequently. Isn't it like 10 points for a goalkeeper scoring now, or something crazy like that? I love that as an addition, by the way. It's so rare for a goalkeeper to score. Why not just boost the points the goalkeeper gets for scoring by a lot? It's fun. It's fun. Do you think we'll be buying Saka again this season? Yes, definitely. He's a player who I'm definitely looking at wildcarding in for game week 31, particularly if Arsenal don't double and don't blank. Because otherwise he'll be in my free hit team, I guess. But yeah, any thoughts on Foden? I'm not super keen on Foden. I don't think he's been playing super well recently, and I don't think he's nailed on anymore either, unfortunately for him. Is Evan Nilsson nailed pens? He's nailed. Is he nailed? No, he's not 100% nailed because he is returning from a long injury layoff. So I wouldn't say he's 100% nailed, but I'd be happy saying 80%, maybe 90%. He is not on penalties though. Penalties will be taken by Justin Cliver at Bournemouth. So there'll be no penalties for Evan Nilsson. -4 from Dango to Odoi if I plan to wildcard 31. Maybe. Like, it's something that I've considered, but it's a little luxury for me because I basically need someone to bench next week. And taking a -4 to then probably bench that player I've taken a -4 for next week makes it seem less worth it. But if you actually need an additional player for game week 30, then why not? Mark says, would be hilarious if Dango randomly starts ahead of Evan Nilsson this week. You know what? I would be incredibly happy if that were the case. Incredibly happy. Is there any other forwards apart from Haaland, Wood, Wissa, Raul? Yeah. Yeah, there is. There's 2 more, I would say, that look reasonably good this week. So we may as well have a look at them. Actually, let's get a new page up. I'm going to have a look at forwards. May as well order by transfers in. So, Beto, who hasn't been mentioned there. He's been putting up pretty good numbers. I think he's slightly falling out of form. He has missed some big chances recently, but I think there is still a decent opportunity there if you're looking for someone ultra cheap. So there's him. And the other guy, who hasn't been mentioned actually. I can't remember who else. I mean, maybe it's just... So it's Wood, Haaland, Evan Nilsson, Wissa, Raul and Beto. Those are the 6. I can't remember which one you said who you maybe didn't mention. You didn't mention... Oh, you didn't mention Evan Nilsson. So yeah, Evan Nilsson and Beto are the additional ones. HBK Neil, member for 12 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Crit says Semenyo and Haaland or Wissa and Palmer. Thank you very much. What is this for free? If you have Wissa and Palmer right now, I don't think it would be worth swapping Wissa and Palmer for Semenyo and Haaland. particularly not for a hit. But yeah, Semenyo and Haaland is the better pair, I would say. Alan Macker here says Trent, Palmer, Cunha, Isak to Williams, Gibbs, White, Wood, Haaland from -4. Wildcard 31. Cannot get Haaland without selling Isak. Yes. I think I would do that, yeah. It looks pretty nice. Triple Forest, though, are you happy with that? Are you happy with that? Jarhead says, Dan, your channel is the best for sure. The mustache is questionable, but we'll let it go. It's not that questionable, is it? Probably do need to trim it down a bit, to be fair. Is it better to sell Trent or Mateta? Definitely Trent. Definitely Trent. Is Martinelli a good differential on a free hit? I don't know if I'm super confident about that one. It's not the worst, but I think it's maybe a little bit too risky for me personally. But it's something I have looked at, to be fair. Do we know if Marmoush is starting? I mean, hopefully we'll get a leak on that. Hopefully we'll get a leak on Marmoush. We did last week, to be fair. HPK Neil says, Endo Fernandez versus Kirkes, bench dilemma. I think you play Kirkes. I think you do play Kirkes. Sell Mateta or Isak. Depends how much money you have tied up in either of those players. If you've got loads of money tied up in Isak, then I probably would sell Mateta. But if you've got loads of money tied up in Mateta, maybe not so much in Isak. Or if it's similar, I would sell Isak. Because Isak plays Southampton next week. And I think, sorry, Mateta plays Southampton next week. And I think Mateta has actually a really good chance of being available, considering he's already back in training and has been all week. Oliver likes the mustache. I'm glad some people do. Thank you, Oliver, mate. I appreciate that, bro. Rodgers to Manetzi from -4 or start Robinson. I would start Robinson. I'd just go ahead with Robinson. Let's bring my team back on screen. Hudson-Odoi, Elanga or Gibbs-White. I think I'd go Gibbs-White if I had the choice of the three. Interev, I would not take a hit for a goalkeeper. Aaron says, definitely time to sell Palmer. It feels like it, doesn't it? The only thing that's going in Palmer's favour is the fact that he actually does have a fixture, which is better than we can say about a lot of the popular picks, right? Nico Williams and Bowen or Saliba and Elanga? Nico Williams and Bowen, I think, out of those two options. Marmoush, captain thoughts. I don't think I would go there. Sell Marmoush to buy Haaland? No, I don't think I would sell Marmoush. I certainly wouldn't sell him. Even if Marmoush is benched, he's probably not worth selling. Certainly not worth selling for a hit. But obviously, yeah, there will be some temptation there to do a free transfer, particularly if you can do like a direct free transfer for a really nice pick. Play Harwood Bellis or Dango? Ooh. You know what? You could just play Harwood Bellis. He's more likely to start, isn't he? CFC Will says, I have Rico Lewis. Very strange situation. 2024 called, mate. They wanted their defenders back. 2024 is missing a couple of defenders. I think that might be you, Will. Captain Woods or Cliver? That's an interesting question. I genuinely would be tempted by Cliver there. But I think most sensible people would say Chris Wood for captain. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those sensible people. Is taking a -8 a good choice? Depends what you're doing with the -8. It's so difficult to say, should you take a hit, should you not take a hit? It really depends on who you're taking a hit for. If you're taking a hit to sell a player who actually has a fixture this week, then it doesn't look so good. If you're taking a hit to swap a goalkeeper, probably doesn't look so good. Even a defender, unless it funds another move. But I guess all in all, if you're swapping non-playing attackers for very nice attackers, you know, if you're taking a -4 to get a Haaland or a Wood or a Cliver, you know, these kind of players, then that looks much nicer, right? Looks much nicer. Oh, actually, it's a good point. Yeah, hopefully we'll find out if Foden starts as well. Do we think it's one of Marmoush or Foden? Or do we think they both play together? I guess it depends on some other things, right? How's Trent to Forest defender over Gvardiol? That's what I've done. Asu says, hey, mate, today's breakfast blank. Who's going to blank this game week at breakfast time? Or what did I have for breakfast? My breakfast was, it wasn't a blank game week, my breakfast. I just had a banana for breakfast. So it's kind of like a one-pointer kind of breakfast for me. Yeah, pretty low-scoring breakfast. But hopefully we'll make up for it with a nice haul for lunch. we'll go crazy. I'm feeling in the mood. Maybe for a baguette. Yeah, it might be quite nice. I'm feeling French. Oh, actually, no. I forget that. I'm not feeling French. Ugh. Sorry, French people, but Trent to Gvardiol for a -4. I'm gonna say yes, since Trent is like not gonna be useful in future game weeks. Do free hit reset transfers? No, not anymore. Not anymore. Best midfielder under 5 million. Under 5 million or at 5 million? The only midfielder I can think of under 5 million is Bellegarde at 4.9. But Manetzi and Minter at 5 million could be okay. I think I prefer Manetzi for 5 million. Some people will say Nwaneri. I'm not super keen on Nwaneri now that Arsenal are getting a few players back from injury. Christian says, Gibbs White captain, let's go. He's got something to say on the England selectors. That is something that I did think about. What time is the game week starting? We should have a timer on screen, guys. It should be way over there. Hang on. It is. Here. That is when the game week starts. I would tell you the time, but I don't know what time zone you're in. So instead, we've got the new feature, as of the last couple of weeks, that tells you what time the deadline is. That's how long you've got. So be careful. If that timer hits 0, you are in big, big trouble because it means the deadline is passed. Anyway, will there be a bench list this week? Yeah, bench list is interesting, isn't it? Is there any point in doing a bench list this week? Probably not. Could we do anything instead of a bench list? Maybe like well, I guess we could just do like a transfer tier list, which a lot of people seem to think the bench list is anyway. Still, at this point, I mean, the bench list has been going, what, for 2 years now? Maybe a year and a half? And it's still, some people treat it like a transfer tier list, which is not meant to be at all, but there you go. Francisco, nice to see you. Says, thoughts on Trent to Aït-Nouri and Palmer to Bruno? For free, yeah. I like it. Best Dango replacement, got Triple Forest. Thoughts on Wissa to Haaland 1 week early, Wildcard 31. No, I don't think I would swap Wissa. This is a lot of transfers. Is this all for free? There's got to be some hits in here. And if there are hits in here, then I think we've got to be a little bit cautious here. A little cautious. Best Dango replacement, if you've got Triple Forest, is kind of tough. But I guess Semenyo, if you can afford it. Maybe. Reese says, is it true you used to be a bin man? No, Reese, I can't say I have ever worked in that particular market. But, I mean, not against the idea. Maybe that's what I'll do after the FPL channel dies. You never know. Is Nwaneri a sell? No. No. All free transfers. What? All of them? So you can do Trent to Aït-Nouri, Palmer to Bruno, replace Dango, and do Wissa to Haaland all for free? If so, go for it. Yeah, if you could do all of that for free, why not? Why not? Asu says, which team do you support? I support the mighty London Reds. Come on. And I don't know why that shirt was next to me, but pretty handy for answering that question. What is the best choice for captain, Wood or Wissa? I would go for Wood ahead of Wissa, for sure. I would. Should we do a captain poll? Let's do a captain poll. Who is your Gameweek 29 captain? And we'll go, let's say Haaland, Wood, Kluivert. Is Kluivert the third guy here? Okay, guys, just a quick mini head count. Just throw in the chat the name of the player you're going to be captaining in Game Week 29. Just throw it in the chat, and then I can get a rough idea of who the most popular guys. Oh, Bruno Fernandes, the doy. I'm glad I said that now. Bruno Fernandes, and then I guess we'll go other, right? So it's the top four are probably Haaland, Wood, Bruno, and Kluivert, I'm guessing. And then we'll see some people going elsewhere. So we'll be seeing in the chat. Someone said Salah. Yeah, don't blame me. Haaland, Wood, Bruno. Yeah, okay. Haaland, Wood, Bruno, other. Then we'll cover all bases there. Right, get voting, guys. Let's see what you got. So, Sami says, would you captain Bruno, Wood, Wissa, or Mbermo? I would captain Bruno, personally, out of those players. That's what I would do personally, but some other people might say Wood. Cody says, Dango to Bowen for a -4 or other mids under 7.5. I don't know if I would take a -4. It depends. Would it create a benching headache for next week? If you actually need a player for 2 weeks, then it might be worth taking a -4 there. But if you need a player for 2 weeks, you're probably not going to go for Bowen, because doesn't Bowen have a difficult fixture next week? I can't remember who he plays, but it's not great, is it? Oh, no, it's not bad, actually. Yeah, Wolves away. That's not too bad. It's not great, and I don't think Everton away is great either, but it could be a lot worse. If I'm looking for a 2-week punt on a midfielder, I'm looking at Morgan Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi, Semenyo for that kind of price tag, I would say. Probably ahead of Bowen, to be fair. You don't have to spend all your money. Matt says, Trent to Williams, Digne to Kirkes, Gakpo to Evan Nilsson, 11 players, including Dango for a -4, or an additional -4 Dango to Kluivert. I think if you don't have Kluivert, I would consider taking an additional -4. Yeah, Matt, I think I would because it's for Kluivert, and I think Kluivert does look one of the top picks for this week. I think I would consider that -4. Yeah. But the other moves look reasonably good. Happy. So I guess Dango's your only Bournemouth player right now. So you want to get a decent triple up for the next 2 weeks, maybe? If so, Matt, I think that looks pretty good, man. It is obviously annoying taking a -8, but it does improve your team. It does improve your team. Here for FPL says Dan, bench 1, Robinson and Mikalenko. Have Pickford. I would play Mikalenko ahead of Robinson. I know it's risky, but I would just go all in there. Thinking Bruno captain over. Oh, actually, Robinson has attacking threat as well. Oh, actually, maybe that's not so easy. I was just thinking clean sheets. Oh man. Here for FPL, you've had so many questions this week, man. You must be absolutely tearing your hair out this week with so many decisions. Okay, in that case, maybe I'll play Robinson, and then at least you've got a potential attacking return to fall back on. Sean says, thinking Bruno captain over Haaland. I think, you know, for sure, if you want to take a risk this week, then Bruno captain is definitely something I would consider, for sure. Sid Vicious says, -4, Mateta to Wood for getting a full 11 for Gameweek 29. Is it worth it? Yeah, potentially. Potentially. Is it worth it? For sure. The difficulty is I would want Mateta for Gameweek 30. But you're down a player right now. You've got to think about 2 game weeks. And I think for 2 game weeks, you probably take Wood. Even for a -4. Sam says, Captain Cliver, Evan Nilsson, or Burmo. I'd go Cliver out of those 3. Here for FPL says basically no hair left, mate. Oh, dear. So do you play with 10 men down? No, man. I've still got 2 free transfers to use. I just haven't used them yet. I'd want to just see if there's any early team news because, you know, say for example we get a leak that Haaland is not starting, then suddenly, I mean, that's not going to happen. Let's be real. But like, if it were to happen, suddenly things look bad. Is Murillo better than Williams? Depends on what you want. If you want bonus points, Duncan, then yeah, Murillo is slightly better than Williams. But Murillo is less likely to get attacking return. So I still think Williams is the better pick, but I think we're arguing over the smallest margins at this point. I think as long as we all agree that Aina is the worst, then I'm sure we're all on the same page. HQA says, hey Dan, should I free hit? And if so, choose Haaland over Marmoush. If you're on a free hit, you 100% put Haaland in your team, right? However, whether you should or should not free hit is a very different question. Yeah, it's difficult to say without really knowing your team. If you still have your wild card, then I'd be more willing to free hit. And if you have a lot of Crystal Palace players in particular, I would be happy to free hit. You know, if you've got Mateta, Munoz, maybe Sarr or Henderson or Eze. If you've got like 2 out of those 5 players, I'd be pretty willing to free hit. If you've got Isak as well, maybe another Newcastle player whose name is not Hall or Gordon. Actually, even Gordon, to be fair. Then again, I would consider a free hit. So basically, if you're loaded up on Crystal Palace and Newcastle, I think that suits free hitters far more than for those who are not loaded up on those players. At that point, if you're in too much trouble, I would actually prefer, if you have very few Crystal Palace and Newcastle, I would actually prefer a wild card now if your team is in really bad situation. Which basically means you're loaded up on Liverpool and Aston Villa. If you're loaded up on Liverpool and Aston Villa, it's a tough spot. Might be time to wild card. But like, if you can fix things with a hit or 2, then probably just do that. Head versus heart, Raya versus Pickford. Odds favour Pickford now. Odds have swung in the way of Pickford. So yeah, maybe I would play Pickford over Raya at this point. Who's the best midfielder under 8.2? Erdegaard if you want to take a punt, but like if you want to just save a little bit of money, Semenyo, Gibbs White look like your sensible guys, your sensible picks. There we go. Is a -12 worth it if I don't have a wild card or a free hit? Holy smokes. No. If you don't have a wild card or a free hit, then you can't just think about this week. You have to think about the future as well. And it's going to be doubles and blanks, and it's going to get tough. It's going to get tough. If you don't have a wild card or a free hit, I would not remove any Crystal Palace or Newcastle players, basically. I would maybe only remove your Aston Villa players. Just get to 9 or 10 men. That's fine. HQA says wildcard still available, and yes, a lot of players. Yeah, well, there you go. It does depend. If you're loaded up on Crystal Palace and Newcastle, then free hit is viable. If you're loaded up on Aston Villa and Liverpool, then you're probably more likely to take the wildcard route. But ideally, you use neither. In an ideal world, I think you don't use a wildcard or a free hit this week, just because I think I'd rather save them for the bigger doubles and blanks coming up. So that's my opinion on a free hit and whether you should play it or not. But I have to say, you are running out of time for a free hit. We've got an hour and 4 minutes. Is having Haaland a necessity? No, I don't think so. Would you transfer out Munoz or Sarr to have a full starting 11? I don't think so, no. Unless you're wildcarding in Game Week 30. Because you're going to want these guys for Game Week 30, aren't you? Against Southampton. They could be really nice picks. And a lot of people won't have them either. Sean here says, my free hit team, Pickford, Nico Williams, Gabriel, Nori, Bruno Kluivert and Burma Erdegaard, Wood, Evan-Nilsson, Haaland, subs Rare, Kirkes, Gibbs-White and Robinson. That is very similar to the draft I put out yesterday, isn't it? Let's have a look. Because I really do like... Actually, did I save it on Hub? I might have. Oh, what am I doing? Going on BT? I'm going on a BT website. What am I doing? I don't even have a BT subscription anymore. Are they even called BT anymore? Oh, yeah, they are. They are. So this is the wildcard team I made. So it's like super similar, right? The only difference is you've gone for Evan-Nilsson. I've gone for Raul. No bench list / ego boost list this week. We could do an ego boost list. Asu, can you stop telling me that you hate me? I don't care that you support City. That's fine. You don't have to hate someone because they support a different team to you. And you don't have to keep telling them either. Yellow card, Asu. You know, it's got to be a yellow card for this behaviour. You said you hated me like 10 times in the chat. It's a bit rude, mate. I mean, I appreciate you're probably a child based on this behaviour, but come on, man. Can't just keep telling people you hate them on the internet. Would you make any changes to that wild card? I mean, I prefer Raul Jimenez to Evan-Nilsson, but I like them both. I like them both. There's not much in it. So that's the only change I would make. I mean, yeah, if I'm totally honest, I've made my ideal free hit team. Any changes I make to your guys' free hit team is just going to be to change the players that you have that aren't in this team for players who are in this team. That would be the changes I would make because I know what my favourite free hit team is, and it's this on screen. So that's the changes I would make. But a lot of these things are personal preference, and I think in particular, Nori, Erdegaard, and Raul Jimenez are probably the 3 players that I'd be most willing to switch around. So there we go. Ishan says, Isak to Marmoush, if there's a week of him starting for a 2-week pump before 31. The thing is, Ishan, even if Marmoush does start this week, and we have that for a fact, we have no guarantee that Marmoush will start in Game Week 30. So I'm not sure I love it. It's risky. It's really, really risky. And I think for that reason, I would prefer the likes of a Chris Wood for 2 weeks, for example, and Evan-Nilsson for 2 weeks. That's what I would go for anyway. No yellow card, mate. Andre. Asu, it's too late. You've got the yellow card. The yellow card is locked in. It's locked in. But anyway, Rob the editor says the difficulty that we don't know who starts in 30 is just too much. Leicester is the money fixture. Yeah, for sure, man. And I think that's why people are so keen on Haaland, because I think we do probably know that he will start. Him and Gavardio are kind of those two players who are FPL relevant, who we can probably say with reasonable amounts of confidence that they will start both games. And then we get to players like Marmoush and Savinho, where things become a little bit more techie. So it's harder to say for sure. Any news if Saka is fit? It doesn't look like he's going to be playing quite yet. I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, he's not quite returned to training. I think he returns to training next week. So I think he will be back. He'll be back before long, but it's not going to be this week. Better with decent shout instead of Raul. Yeah, you definitely could do. You definitely could do. Daddy and the Don says no VAR on yellow cards. It's so true. There's no VAR. We can VAR red cards, but we can't VAR the yellow cards, I'm afraid. Once they're given, they're given. To the Max says, would you take a minus 64 this week? Yeah, if I forgot to hit the wildcard button, I can see myself taking a minus 64. Not that I'm wildcarding anyway. Pick one for a minus 4. Isak to Wood or Dango to Elanga. I would go. Maybe Isak to Wood. Out of those two. Alex, yeah, you make a really good point about Mazraoui and his attacking threat. That's why he's in my free hit team, by the way. That's why he's in the free hit team. I do genuinely kind of low-key like the look of Mazraoui as a pick. I don't think he's like essential or anything like that. But yeah, I think he could be worth a punt if you're willing to take a little risk, because Man United defensive ownership is going to be super low. So you will be betting against the crowd, but it's one of those ones that could pay off. Elliot says, what are your opinions on Raul Jimenez captain to chase points in the Mini League? I don't hate it. It's not something I can see myself ever doing, but I kind of have a reputation to uphold. And the reputation is already kind of in the bin. But thankfully, my reputation is at the top of the bin at the moment. It's kind of like, if you ever like thrown something in the bin and kind of thought, oh, mate, no, wait, I didn't mean to throw that in the bin. If it's at the top of the bin, you might pick it out. Give it a little rinse. Depending on what it is, of course. Like, if you put like a slice of bread in there, you're probably not going to wash it off and eat it regardless. But if it's like packaged, perhaps, if it's at the top of the bin, you might take it off, give it a rinse, and still consume the item. If it's at the bottom of the bin, you're not going rummaging down there. And thankfully, my reputation is in the bin, but it's at the top of the bin. So you might still pick me out. But because of that, I can't risk doing captains like Raul Jimenez, because that might seat me to a slightly lower level in the bin. And more garbage will pile on top of me. And at a certain point, I'll be so low in the bin that no one's bothering to pick me out. And no one's gonna eat me. Rob says, I feel if it's packaged, it's fine. No matter what. How deep in the bin? If you've got a full bin, are you going shoulder deep to the bottom of the bin to fish out a packaged item? I think at a certain point it's gone. It's got to be said. It's got to be said. This analogy is weird, man. Bit of a weird analogy. I think it's a good analogy. I think it's pretty good. Is it worth to go Son in my free hit? Risky, but you could do. I don't think I would. I don't think I can see myself doing that one, but you could potentially. But it's not for me, Jan. It's not for me. Let's see. Have we got any kind of team news yet? I don't think we will do, but hey, you never know. Because we are 55 minutes till deadline, so we could be getting close. No, it's just people. It's just leakers advertising their Patreons. What a world we live in. But alas. Right. Where were we? Should we have a little, let's check in on this let's check on this captain poll. How are we getting on here? For captaincy. So Haaland 51%, Wood 29%, Bruno 14%, other 6%. So it's going to be about half of the YouTube community probably captain Haaland this week. I think if we look out into the wider FPL player base, Haaland is not going to be that high. Like, seriously, Haaland is not going to be that much of a threat. Which is why I know a lot of people have been like, oh, is Haaland essential? You know, do we have to get Haaland in no matter what? Should I take this minus 100? Wait, is a minus 100 even possible? It's not a multiple of 4, is it? Yeah, it is. 25 times 4. Yeah, okay. So you take 25 additional transfers. Yeah, people talking about taking a minus 100 to buy Haaland. It looks, when you watch YouTube videos or you're on FPL Twitter or the FPL side of Twitter or whatever, and you are going to see a lot of people going for Haaland, but the overall player base is generally anti-Haaland. So, well, right now anyway. So I really don't think Haaland is super essential, but still, he will be captained by a lot of people in our little FPL corner. Whisper to Wood for a -4. Definitely not. Definitely not. Marino for a free hit. I don't think he's guaranteed a start here. I think we could see Martinelli or Trossard played as the striker this week for Arsenal. So yeah, I don't think I would go Marino. I don't think his underlying numbers are particularly good either, to be honest. Sun Explorer says, off topic, Dan, but what are your picks for the 3 cups in Europe, as well as the final this weekend and the FA Cup? We got back Liverpool for the League Cup. FA Cup, Man City, isn't it? For Europe, I'm going to say Barcelona for Champions League. Europa League, I don't have a clue. And I mean, surely Chelsea have got to be the best team in the Conference League. Who else is in there? I don't know. Dylan Goodridge. I don't know why I read that as Goldbridge. Dylan Goodridge says, Marmoush, Wissa, Garnacho, Hudson-Odoi as a risky captain. I just can't see myself going for Marmoush. Wissa, Hudson-Odoi, maybe, but we are so risky here. The Mighty Villa. What, the Mighty Villa for the Champions League? Don't get me wrong, that would be historic, but I can't see it happening. Are you going a free hit? I'm not on a free hit, no. No, I'm saving my free hit. But this is like just a team in front of you guys, just to show you what I would do if I were to free hit, which was part of yesterday's video. And also, like, you know, if you're just looking for transfers generally, these are the kind of players I like. Maybe with the exception of Ødegaard, I don't think I'd use a transfer on him. He's more of a free hit pump. Oh, Villa for the FA Cup. Okay, yeah, that's more reasonable. That's more reasonable. But hey, you know, could happen. Could happen. Sell Marmoush for Wood? Nah, I think at this moment you keep Marmoush. I probably need to make some transfers soon. Like, I just kind of want to wait to see if there's any team news. I don't want to leave it too close to the deadline though, otherwise I'm cooked. Let's see what happens. Is Mazraoui nailed? I think so. With Dorgu unavailable, I think so. Yeah, just again, I would not take a -4 for a goalkeeper. I would rather play without a goalkeeper than take a -4 for them. Hull to Nico Williams and Rogers to Garnacho for a -8. No, I don't know if I love that. I don't know if I'm as keen on Garnacho as maybe some other people. It seems to be mostly the Manchester United fans that like Garnacho. You can't take a minus 100. Why not? Can't you just take... If you used all your free transfers and then made 25 more transfers, would that not be a minus 100? Best Forest mid? Gibbs White if you can afford him. If not, Hudson-Odoi. Garnacho hasn't scored this year, so I'll pass. Yeah, based. Could you give us a look at your team? Sure. There's not much to look at right now, though, because I still have transfers to make. But this is what my team looks like right now. But I have transfers. I have 2 free transfers still, so there you go. Dan, to be honest, there's one player I'm not listening to your advice on. It's Morgan Rogers. I have to have a Villa player in my squad. I'm a Villa fan, of course. Hey, if you just need to have a Villa player on your bench for comfort, then why not? Can your FPL team have negative points for the season, or does it stop you from taking a -4? No, I'm pretty sure you can go into the minus points, right? You'd have to really, really concentrate. Wait, can we find out? Let's go. Oh my god, I think we can find out here. Like, surely there's people with... So if we go like page... Like, how many teams per page? 100 teams per page. There's like... Okay. If we go to page 10,000... 10,000 times 100 is... Yeah, so, okay, we need an extra 0 on here. And then we need to... Wait, how many? Oh, there's 50 teams per page. I see. So if we now go to page 200,000, we should be getting towards the bottom of the table. What is the final page in FPL? Okay, we can keep going. We want to find the lowest scoring player in FPL. Some of you guys are going to be like, Dan, we are literally about to hit deadline on a blank game week and you're trying to find the lowest ranked player in the world of FPL. Yes, guys, I am. I'm sorry. It's in my head. I can't let it go. We must find the lowest ranked player in FPL. And we will find the lowest ranked player in FPL. And we're getting close. So I'm just going on, I'm just changing the URL each time to try and find the last page. Okay, we are getting super close here. Unless anyone can find what page number it is. Should do it in a Liam Neeson voice. Okay. Lowest ranked team. I will find you. And I will mock you. Mock and mog. Ooh, we are so close to the end. In fact, if we just go here. Just keep going next page at this point. Find the lowest ranked team in FPL. Oh my god, yes, you can go into minus points. You can go into minus points. Okay, the lowest ranked team in FPL is In It to Lose It. Fantastic name. Who is minus 2,052 points for the season. There you go. So, no matter how bad your season is, at least you are not this guy. In It to Lose It. What an absolute legend. Wow. Phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal stuff. So I think he was actually on a green arrow last week. Rough. There you go, guys. What an absolute legend. There you go. Heaton, Cancelo, Kelly, Holding, Mascara, Brian, Diaby, McTominay, Gross, Gallagher, Lukaku. How annoyed do you think this guy would be if, like, one of these players, like, I don't know, Mascara randomly came back from injury, unexpected, or Kelly was recalled from loan, and these players end up starting? Oh dear. Yeah, he does it. But yeah, he'll just take a minus 100 every week, basically. Or there might be a cap though. I wonder if there is a cap on maximum amount of minuses you can take. And I actually don't know what the cap is. Is it? I don't know. But anyway, that's there you go. There's an interesting little factoid for you. How are we getting on, guys? 43 minutes until deadline. Are we? You know, if you want to finish worse than FPL, you could just do a full team of Spurs players, couldn't you? If you wanted to lose FPL. Yeah, three Spurs players. Get this player on your podcast. I think it's 20 transfers to stop hackers. Makes sense. Yeah, can we find this guy? What an amazing podcast guest, by the way, that would be. The worst player of FPL. Can we track him down? If we can track him down, that's incredible. Do you get money for coming last? I don't think so. Best 10.4 million defender and mid combo. Semenyo. Oh, you had 3 Bournemouth. Okay, forget that. So could you do Gibbs White? No. Hudson-Odoi and like a Forest defender / an Aït-Nouri, maybe? Something like that. Hi Dan, Wood or Clivert for captain. I would be super tempted by Clivert if you're chasing, but if you want to play it safe, go for Wood. That is your safe choice. Like, for sure. So, by the way, guys, just to let you know, I do have an alternative idea, by the way, but I think it might be a bit too aggressive. So I do have also an idea of maybe doing something like, and this would be for a hit. I could do Haaland, Evan Nielsen, and Hudson-Odoi. I have the exact money for it. So that is an idea potentially for if I wanted to take a hit this week. And I think this would probably be the direction. If I was to take a hit, this is what I would do. I think. Because I think I'd rather have Evan Nielsen than Semenyo. So I do this. But if I don't take a hit, what I'll do is and by the way, this will allow me to bench Castagna and play a 3-4-3. So that is like what I would do if I was to take a hit. So I really do actually quite like that for a hit. But if I'm not taking a hit, what I will instead do is keep Dango, sell Palmer, keep Isak instead and do Gibbs White and Haaland. I could have just kept Haaland in there, to be honest, and do that instead. So those are my two options. I like them both. I really do like them both. -8 to bring in Haaland, still keeping Salah though. I mean, if you really want Haaland that badly, I don't think you have to take a -8. You know, when we're getting to -8s, it's if there's other options that you can do for free or just a -4, it may be at that point be worth just playing it simple. Noel says minus 1.6 million for Trent, Isak, Cunha, Hall. So Haaland, Evan Nilsson, Nico, and Howson. Don't want to lose Salah. Drop Palmer. Go no goalkeeper or avoid 5 moves or hit. I'm not sure I totally understand what this means. Trent is a sell. Cunha is a sell. Hall is a sell. But is it worth spending hits on defenders? Probably not. All of the players you suggested look good. You'd be talking about playing with no goalkeeper still. You don't have to sell Palmer. Like, those 4 transfers look fine. They do look fine. Particularly if they're for free. Oh, are you saying you don't have the money to do it? If you don't have the money to do it, then what can you do? I'm not really sure. Excuse me. I'm allergic to hits. Yeah, not sure. Not sure. If you can't afford to do that, then if it's, I think like a lot of people are going crazy to try and get Haaland in. The Haaland kind of craziness is going a bit too far. If you can do it with just a hit, then do it. If it's going to take you a complete restructure of your team, you're going to ruin your team for future game weeks, you are, selling players you don't want to sell just to try and force Haaland into your team, then I wouldn't do it. If it's easy, do it. If it's not, don't do it. I think it has to come down to that at the end of the day. Freddie Barnes says, do I go Hudson-Odoi over Semenyo? Much better form. Semenyo is, I think, the more sensible option. But if you fancy a punt on Hudson-Odoi, then I say go for it. Matt says, 11 men, 3 Bournemouth attack, or 10 with Haaland. I think you go 11 men. Madness to get rid of Isak now. Well, he'd come straight back in on a wild card, to be fair. You come straight back in. It is maybe a bit mad. Would you have bought Bruno instead of Morgan Gibbs-White if you had the money? Yeah, I would. For sure. I do prefer Bruno to Gibbs-White. Pickford or Onana as keeper. I'm on free hit. I think Pickford. Haaland for a hit. I'd rather be... I don't even know what that means. Who in for Dingo Dango? Minter? Could do. If you can do Hudson-Odoi, I probably would though. If you can't afford that, then Minter, Monetsi, something like that. Do I do my hit? I'm like so tempted to do that hit. Like, it is fun, isn't it? And my season is like in tatters. We could take a risk here. It involves keeping Palmer though, and I know people are not going to like that one bit. Like, it looks kind of good, doesn't it? So what am I looking at? I'm basically looking at, let's just work this out in my head. It's Castagna and Gibbs-White. Castagna, Gibbs-White and Dango versus Hudson-Odoi, Evan Nilsson, and Palmer. Right? What's the better choice? Evanilson, Palmer, Hudson-Odoi, or Castagna, Gibbs White, and Dango? It's the -4 option, isn't it? But is it better by 4 points? I don't know. I am throwing up gang signs, aren't I? It's a really tough question. Maybe this is worth... I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, Noel's got another super chat here. It says, sorry, I'm short 1.6 million. Okay, yeah, I thought so. For Trent, Isak, Cunha, Hult, Haaland, Evanilson, Nico, and Hodgson. Don't want to lose Salah, sell Palmer, or go no goalkeeper, or avoid these moves. I could hit, but I don't know who to sell. You could go no goalkeeper, maybe. Maybe go no goalkeeper. Or you could just sell Palmer. Selling Palmer is fine. If you're doing it for free, particularly, I think I would be fine with that. I think I'd be fine with that. Doing it for free. Bench list. Do we need a bench list this week? I don't think we do. IHB says is a member for 49 months. That is crazy, by the way. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hudson-Odoi, Evanilson, and Palmer. All right. Should we do a poll? I'm going to do a poll on my options because we are getting towards that point, aren't we? On the captain poll, just before I end it, Haaland 50%, Wood 29%, Bruno 16%, other 6%. So Haaland is the preferred captain, but Wood and Fernandes have some decent numbers in there. It's by no means a whitewash. Let's do a poll. And by the way, the -4 would give me a benching headache for next week, which is not something I am super happy about. So, poll. What should I do? So, it would be Palmer. Wait, sorry, no. I'll just say the differences of the 3 players. Buy. Okay, so it's not even about buying, it's about having. So it will be just trying to remember what players would be. So it would be Gibbs White. Gibbs White, Castagna, and Dango. And that's free. Or Hudson-Odoi, Palmer, and Evanilson -4. So those are the 2 options. And this is the question. Are Hudson-Odoi, Palmer, and Evanilson 4 points better than Gibbs White, Castagna, and Dango? That's my question. Because I think because it will just give me a benching dilemma next week, it needs to pay off this week. I mean, actually, can I afford Raul Jimenez instead of Evanilson? Because I could also do that. But I kind of want Evanilson for next week as well. Possibly. Because Raul Jimenez would have to be benched against Arsenal. It's a tough question, isn't it? The -4 could definitely pay off, but it's risky. I don't know. All right, let's check through the chat anyway. Feel free, guys, to... You want Isak next week? Yeah, kind of. I kind of will want Isak next week. But, I mean, it's basically next week, do I want to have Palmer or Isak as well? That's the other part of it. I'll have Palmer or Isak for Gameweek 30. And, like, against Spurs, I don't mind Palmer. I don't mind Palmer. Luca says, hi Dan, love the content. No Haaland, Mbermo or Kluivert captain. I prefer Kluivert out of him and Mbermo. I do prefer it. Should I bring Evan Nilsson for João Pedro for a hit? I don't think so, no. Not for a hit. Nelso says, hey Dan, would you rather stop supporting Arsenal or win FPL? Choose only one. I'd rather win FPL. I can just support like I'll just support probably Luton Town instead, to be honest, because they're kind of the team, my lower league team anyway. So I just until last season when they suddenly weren't my lower league team anymore, they were my higher league team. Yeah, I would win FPL. I would live off that for the rest of my life, and I'd support Luton Town. And that would be absolutely fine by me. Or Leeds United, because I supported Leeds United for like a week when I was a kid. And I still have a bit of a soft spot for them. Which is not really a team you should have a soft spot for, but like that team with like Viduka, Kuhl, Fowler. Yeah, I love that team, man. I was a big fan of that team. Alanga for Dango for a hit. Would you do it? No. I don't think so. Traitor. Hey, the game's the game. You know what winning FPL would do for my career? It would do wonders for my career. It really would. It would be enormous. I would take that all day. Like, if you win FPL, you are a legend in the FPL world for the rest of your life. Love Arsenal, don't get me wrong, but my own life, my own family, whatever has to come first, I think. Why is everyone going crazy for Haaland all of a sudden? Because it's just a nice pick for the next 2 weeks. And people find themselves with a little bit of cash to spend in the short term before, you know, wild carding maybe in game week 30, 31. So it's like a short term punt, right? Leeds United song is catchy. It is. I agree. Best defender for next 2 weeks for 5.6 million. I'd go for a Forest defender or Ait Nori maybe. That's what I would do. Is selling Isak a bad move, mate? I don't think it's a bad move at all. It's an option. It's an option for sure. Should I load up this -4? I'm gonna load up the -4. Just to see how it looks. Just to see if it suits me. The one thing that worries me about the -4 is that what if Gibbs White outscores Hudson-Odoi? That's the -4, isn't it? Yeah. But you never know. You never know. I mean, does it give me an extra penalty taker for this week? Yeah, it does. Hey, maybe. Palmer penalty taker. Look at that poll, by the way. That's 50-50. That is incredible. That is incredible. Okay, but what if he doesn't? Yeah, I know. That is the problem with FPL. I mean, if I could read the future, things would be a lot easier, wouldn't they? A lot easier. Did you work out the best plan for Sim's team? No, I didn't. I've been too focused on my own team, to be honest, and trying to make videos. It's been a bit of a crazy week. Hopefully he's figured himself out, though. We'll catch up with him soon. Nick Howell says, hi Dan, 62 points in game week 28, free hit active, my 11th for blank game week 29, similar to yours, Pickford, Nico, Gabriel, Ait Nori, Savinho, Odegaard, Kluivert, Bruno, Wood, Haaland, Raul. Looks good, Nico. Looks good, my friend. Decent stuff. Harry says, would you replace Palmer for a minus 0.5 million? If you're looking to find 0.5 million, I would. You could sell Palmer for Bruno, maybe. That would work. That would work. Which is the best 7 million midfielder for the next 2 game weeks? Probably Gibbs White. Unless you don't have Cliver, in which case it's Cliver. Francisco says, I don't know what's worse, Palmer or Spurs form, so I'm going to go for keeping Palmer. I'm doing Dango to Bruno and Trent to Aït-Nouri. Thoughts? Yeah, no, looks good. Looks good. Do you think it's better captaining Wood or Haaland? If you have Haaland, I think you probably captain him. If you have him. Any Marmouche news? Let me check. Doesn't. Oh, yeah. Marmouche starts. There you go. Marmouche starts for Manchester City. There you go, guys. Marmouche is starting. Can we put that on the ticker? Probably can. Let's replace one of these other more boring pieces of news. Marmouche starts for Man City. There we go. So that will be on the ticker. So yeah, we've got Marmouche so far. We'll see if anything else comes in due course. We'll see. Can you do a Toinkos? I'm on a free hit, and this captain debate between Haaland, Bruno, and Wood is hurting my hand. I only have a 2-sided Toyn, unfortunately. So I missed the captain poll result. Could you repeat the result, Dan? Yeah, the result was. This is not exact, but it was like 50% Haaland, like 24%. I don't know, 24% Wood, like 17% Bruno, and then the rest on other. I think it was just under 10% on other, maybe not 8 or 9% on other, something like that. I think. But do not quote me on that. Phil with an F says, can't reach a full 11 without a -4. Should I go Wood and Marmouche, or go -8 plus? Go -8 plus remove Palmer for Elanga to get Haaland. Still go. Nah, if you're gonna have to take multiple hits to get Haaland in, then it doesn't fix any other problems from your team. You're just doing it because you want Haaland. Then I wouldn't bother. Like, I don't know. Is Haaland worth the additional hit? If you can get another captain, like, if you get Bruno and Wood, if it's like Bruno and Wood versus Haaland, then the sensible idea is to go for the Bruno and Wood route, right? It's really, really difficult. Still got Dango. It's not ideal, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. Callum Sturgis says, Isak, Cunha, Trent, Palmer out, Haaland, Wissa, Hudson-Odoi, Kirkes in. Thanks for the vids, Dan. I'm top 70k. Thank you so much for the super chat, Callum. That is super generous of you, man. I'm really glad to hear your rank is going strong by the sounds of things. Your transfer moves look pretty good. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Wissa's an interesting one. Yeah, you don't see too many people buying Wissa this week, but I'm hoping he does well. Like, on the Marmouche thing, I'm still not confident I would transfer him in. Just because we don't know what he's gonna be like for game week 30. Let's see what else we got in terms of team news. Doesn't look like we got much. Any more City news? Nothing yet, no. I'm keeping an eye on it, though. I can't believe that poll is 50-50, by the way. crazy. Crazy stuff. The more I look at the -4, like looking at them next to each other, the more I kind of like it. It's like, it's the, I think it's the Evan Nilsson versus Castagna thing, which is really, really tempting me. Let's have a look at the odds again. Or can we work this out? I don't know if Savinho is starting. No, I don't know. 0.46 Evan Nilsson goal. I think Palmer is not like crazy low. He's 0.29. So you're going to get better goal odds. I mean, or I could just... Oh, no, I can't keep Dango because I wouldn't be able to get to Evan Nilsson if I kept Dango. So that wouldn't solve that problem. Yeah, so it would have to be these two. I thought so. Let's see what the predicted points are saying. Have they got a suggestion for me? So if I go reset this team. Sorry guys, I'm looking at my my team so much here. I have, to be fair, I have spent like 2 hours answering other questions, but I do need to just make sure I have a little look at my team just for the final few seconds. So it's Gibbs White, Hudson-Odoi, Dango, Palmer, and I could just look at all of the predicted points and just try and calculate it. Evan Nilsson, Castagna. If there's more than 4 points difference here, then I think it's probably just worth taking a risk. So it's Gibbs White is 4.1, add Castagna 3.5, add, oh wait, hang on, I've done this wrong. 4.1, add 3.5, add 1.7 equals 9.3. So write that number down, guys. Actually, I'll probably just write it down. 9.3 versus the other side, which is 4.1 Evan Nilsson, which I think is harsh, by the way. 5.5 Palmer, which is maybe a bit generous, and 3.7 Hudson-Odoi, which is 13.3. Oh man, the predicted points is in exactly 4 points difference. It's exactly 4 points difference on the predicted points. Why? Oh, come on. Palmer ain't doing nothing. He'll play, which is more than Dango will do. And you never know when you're going to get a penalty. Arsenal do occasionally get those penalties. Yeah, it is X-Mins for Evan Nilsson. You are right, Rob. It's exactly 4. How on earth is that exactly 4 points difference on the predicted points? How is that bang on 4 points difference? Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. Don't trust stats and just go with your guts. I don't trust my guts at this point. It sounds like a coin cost. Oh, no. I don't want to make a decision based on a coin cost. I don't want to do it. Oh, my word. I was always going to break down at some point. It's 6 points difference? Have I calculated this wrong? I've got 9.3 versus 13.3. That's a 4 point difference. Have I miscalculated it? Right, I'm gonna try. I'll do the calculation again on the predicted points. So it's Gibbs White 4.1. Add Castagna 3.5. Add Dango 1.7. That is 9.3. Then we've got Hudson-Odoi 3.7. Palmer 5.5. Evan Nilsson 4.1 equals 13.3. It is an exactly 4 points difference. Yeah, I was right. Oh man, if you're having this much doubt, don't do it. That is usually what I would say. When in doubt, do nothing. However, I don't know what to do. It's not worth the risk. I need to take some risks. I need to take some risks. This is the issue. Compare the expected points for additional week. Okay. Okay, fine. I have 15 minutes to make this decision. Why have I left it this late? Why? What is wrong with me? Okay. I think, to be fair, I would quite like Evan Nilsson against Ipswich next week at home. I would just bench Hudson-Odoi. But then it would be Palmer versus Isak. And I think Isak has 0.1 more predicted points. So then it would be Evan Nilsson next week. So the difference would be Evan Nilsson versus Gibbs White for next week, wouldn't it? Evan Nilsson and Palmer versus Gibbs White and Isak. And I've just figured out it's exactly the same. Palmer 7.1, Isak 7.2. So there's a 0.1 difference there, which is then negated by Gibbs White 4.2, Evan Nilsson all 4.4. Okay, there is a 0.1 point difference in, it would be a 0.1 points difference in game week 30 in favour of Evan Nilsson Palmer. And Fantasy Football Hub has just reset itself. Okay. Okay. But I would lose team value. I would lose 0.3 team value, I think. Who's your manager? I wish it wasn't me. I wish I wasn't my manager. If I wasn't my manager, then maybe I would do this. But maybe I wouldn't. Do it, man. People in the chat want me to do it. Which destroys the most team value? Selling Isak destroys more team value than selling Palmer. It's a risk. It's a risk, but it's like, I think the sensible thing, the safe thing to do would be to not make this move. But if I did do it, I think it could be big green. Oh man, it could be big green. Maybe I'll just play sensible here. But when has that helped me this season? When has being sensible helped me? I need at some point to start playing a bit crazy. Because at the moment I'm just going, oh, what did the stats say? Oh, it says do this. And then it just doesn't work. Play it safe could totally screw your season. A -4 is not going to screw my season, let's be honest. $10 minutes to decide. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Palmer is basically going to need to... Not taking one wouldn't either. No, but it's an opportunity for some gains here, and I very much need some gains. Yeah, I still have the chip strategy. That's going to help. That's going to help. I am chasing. This is the thing. I'm constantly in this mind space of like, I'll just play it safe, Dan. Play it safe. And like, it's just not getting me anywhere. Ah. Shall I just send it? Do I send it? Oh, man. You could end the stream before you decide and make us all rage. What, just not tell you what I do? Should I do a coin toss? Should I make this decision on a coin toss? I think that's the one. I think that's the way I've got to do this. That's the only way I can think about how to make this decision or not. We're going to have to coin toss. We're going to have to do it. Check the poll again. You've got your answer. Oh, and you guys just want to make me suffer, though. Let's be honest. When has the poll ever led me in the right direction? Never. Never. Okay, we're gonna do a coin toss. Okay. Only City leak, by the way, is so far that I've seen is Marmouche is starting. I haven't seen anything else. There isn't anything else. There you go. Right. Coin toss. Let's go full cam review. So, as always, the coin toss. We don't have a coin. We do have a toin. As always, this side, the colourful side, will be the risky and fun route. So this side up means taking the hit. Then we have the boring side. If it lands with this face up, then we go the boring route because it's the boring side. There's no buttons or colourful, cool things on it. So, with that said, we will begin. We will begin. I am not ready for this. Heavy side lands down, no? Yeah, usually. But like, it doesn't land. I usually like catch it in midair. Left hand being the bottom, right hand being the top. That's how we do it. Left hand bottom, right hand top. So however I catch it basically decides it, really, rather than how it lands. This is not good for my health. This is not good for my health. Leaving my fate in the hands of a stupid RGB light controller. If you're disappointed by the result, do the opposite. I'm always going to be disappointed unless it tells me to do it. Okay. Let's do it. Here we go. I'm going to drop it, aren't I? I know what it is. Wait. Did I say left hand bottom or right hand bottom? Which way did I say? Is left hand meant to be the bottom or is the right hand? It's left hand bottom, right hand top, isn't it? Oh no. Chat, remind me which way I said. Which way did I say? Because this is big. I said left hand bottom. Oh no. So that means we go this way. Oh no. Oh no. Oh guys. I think you know what it is. But just to confirm. Oh my. No. Oh. Oh no. What's happened? I'm cooked. I'm cooked. Oh. How am I doing this? Please don't cry, Dan. I'm going to cry. I'm not comfortable with this. I'm not comfortable with this at all. Let's do a final check for team news. The coin cost has spoken. I said I would commit to it. I'm going to have to commit to it. I have to uphold the integrity of the coin cost. It has to be done. That is literally the rule. We're doing it. We're doing it. It's done. Let's see what happens. My season is cooked anyway. I'm not winning FPL this year. And I like Evan Nilsson. I'm just sending it. It's done. It's done, guys. Then we'll play you instead of you. Castagna first sub, in case anything goes terribly wrong. Captain Haaland. Vice Captain Kluivert. It's done. My season's over. My season's over. My God, why? Why did I do this? I mean, don't get me wrong, like, the team looks good now. Like, you know, this looks pretty strong. But it did take a hit to get there, and now I don't have Isak for game week 30. But it looks good, doesn't it? You know what? The more I look at this team, I'm ending the poll, by the way. You guys won. Congratulations. Man, that was a risk. That's a risky maneuver. Let's see if it pays off. Oh, I'm squirming, guys. I'm squirming. It looks good, though, doesn't it? Shouldn't have done it? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. It's a risk, right? Savinho starts, apparently. Let's just verify that. Yeah, Savinho starts. I'm so uncomfy. I hate that I've got Palmer in my team still. But alas. Feels like a mistake. Do you think? We'll see. Tell you what, if Palmer scores against Arsenal, it'll be like a bittersweet moment, I suppose. Damn, man. I'm going to be in Scotland for that game, actually. I have to find somewhere to watch it. Crazy footy, I would captain probably Haaland if you have him. Palmer to Saka after the international break? Probably not. Probably not. I'll be wildcarding in 31. I mean, to be fair, I could wildcard in 30. If I wildcard in 30, then... Oh, have I saved? I don't even know if I saved my team there. That was close. Let's do a refresh. Damn, that would have been rough if I didn't save. Oh, man, I'm not thinking straight right now. Yeah. Why have I got? Have I got? I might have Kluivert vice captain. Yeah, Kluivert vice captain looks good. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, so there is a chance I wildcard in 30, and if I do, like, it's gonna feel a little bit better, I think. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Captain Haaland, it is a risk against the overall player base. I think we've got a warped perception of popular captains this week based on you know, content creators and what have you, and social media bubbles that we naturally find ourselves in. But there we go, guys. The deadline is about to pass. We've got like a few seconds to go. So good luck, everyone. We're almost there. Where's my whistle? I lost my... Oh, here we are. And guys, that is full time. The deadline has passed. Full-time whistle. There we go. We are locked in. Man, we're going to need some luck. We're going to need some luck this week. We'll stick around for another 15 minutes, guys, and we'll check out all of the lineups when they come out, because we've got a few. 1, 2, 3, 4 games. 4 games of lineup, so that's going to be pretty interesting. This week might be swingy. Yeah, for sure, I agree. Well done. I felt your torture. I felt my torture too, my friend. But we got there. Will Wood be the most captained, do you reckon? I think in the overall player base, Wood will be the most captained, yeah. I think people just naturally... More people have Wood. More people have faith in Wood than perhaps Haaland right now. Dango brace off the bench. Don't say that now. Don't say that now. But yeah, guys, I'm guessing you guys are locked in as well. We may as well do a couple more polls whilst we're here. So first of all, did you take a hit this week? Just to see where you guys are at. No. Yes. -4. What? No. Yes, -4. Yes. -8. And we'll do yes, -12 or more, which I don't think many people do. We'll see where you guys are at generally, though. I think most people probably took a -4. I think that's probably where most of the numbers will end up being, or at least certainly if we average it out with the -8s and the -12s or more as well. If you free hit it, just hit no. Triple Bournemouth attack and double Brentford attack. Yeah. Oh well, I mean, honestly, if that Brentford versus Bournemouth game is high scoring, then it's going to be very good. It's going to be very good for me. So, judging by the poll, less than half of you guys managed to avoid a hit. Most people took at least 1 hit. Looks like the average amount of hits is probably above 4. 4 points, I mean. On average, anyway. Quite crazy. Quite crazy. Well, among those who did take a hit, anyway. Really, actually, what's the average? Maybe just above maybe -3 average here. And most people are going to be starting. Well, overall, you'll be starting with a little advantage if you didn't take a hit this week. Most likely, you'll get a little rank boost. Okay, cool. Right, what else? What else can we do? We've got 12 minutes. I better tweet out my team. Oh, need to do my... Oh, let me tweet out my team, and then I'll do my sleeper. Because I need to do my sleeper picks as well. And so do you guys, if you haven't done already. Right. Let's get the screenshot of my team on there. Somehow I ended up taking a -4 and ended on this. Honestly, don't know how. Wish me luck. I'll need it. Crying face. All right, there we go. And let's do sleeper picks as well. Of course, guys, if you haven't joined the Sleeper Predictor League, the link is in the description, as it always is. And yeah, we're giving away prizes every week. So, let's see. So, who's joined? I can see notifications if you join this as well. Cool. Right. So, we got to go through all of the games this week. The 8 games. We need to decide who's going to win, lose, or draw each of them. So, obviously, I can't put that on screen, but we can put the fixtures on screen down here. So, let's start off at the beginning. Everton versus West Ham. I'm going to go Everton win, I think. Ipswich versus Forest. We'll go Forest. Man City versus Brighton. I'm going to go Man City. Southampton versus Wolves. I wonder if Southampton could get a result here. I'm not saying a win. Is a draw super unlikely, though? Maybe we'll go... maybe we should just go... Well, Wolves lacking Cunha. I don't know. I'm going to say Southampton Wolves. I'm actually going to put that down as a draw. Bournemouth versus Brentford, I think is pretty clear. We're going to go Bournemouth in that one. Arsenal, Chelsea. Again, I could see a potential draw here, but I'm going to have to back Arsenal. Fulham versus Spurs. Again, I think I'll call that a draw. And Leicester versus Man United. Man United. Right, my picks are locked in now. Hopefully, I can do a bit better than I did last week, to be totally honest. But we'll see how it goes. And there we have it. Predictions locked, guys. I don't think many people got too high on the predictions last week. The highest I can see for last week is 7 predictions, right? As you can see here. Anyone get more than 7? Anyone get 8 predictions right? Maybe last week was just a little bit difficult to call. Yeah, I don't think anyone... Oh, someone got 9. Whoa. Fair play. Fair play. All right, that's me done. Yeah, use the link in the description if you want to join that, of course, guys. Right. So, lots of hits taken. Cool. Now let's do another poll. This next poll is going to be how many playing players do you have for Gameweek 29? Are we including Dango or not? Let's include Dango. 11, 10, 9, 8 or less. Yes, we are happy. Let's see where you guys are at. I'm hoping most of you guys managed to get to 11 in the end, but I'd be interested to see if anyone was below that. Crab World says I have a beautiful team. How beautiful is it? How beautiful is it? Paul says, okay. So to be fair, only 85% of people have 11 or more. There's still quite a lot of people playing with 10 men this week. Mike has 15 playing players. That's a free hit will do that. A free hit will do that. Sold Salah, should I cry? I've seen a few people selling Salah, to be fair. Cry in game week 30 if you're not wildcarding then. Yeah, I think a few people will be playing without a goalkeeper this week, in all honesty. Which is like fair enough. Like if it's either that or take a hit, then I totally get it. Totally get it. Rule number 1, never sell Salah. You know what? I would not be surprised if Salah still ends up being the highest scoring player for Gameweek 29. Everyone else somehow gets minus points and Salah outscores everyone. Could be fun. 11 including Dango. Yeah, you've got your Dangos as well there, haven't you? Your Dango danglers. Imagine if Dango starts now. I'll cry. I will cry. We'll see. Let's see what other teams people are putting out this week. A lot of people bought Gvardiol this week, didn't they? Seen a lot of Gvardiols on the timeline. What did Ben Crane do? Did Trent Watkins and Allison to Agbadu, Haaland and Kepa, no hit on high rank. Actually, maybe I'll just throw this on screen. Let's go on Twitter and see what everyone's been up to whilst we wait for team news. So this person has gone for Hall, Cunha, Trent out, Gvardiol, Evan Nilsson, Gabriel in. Yeah, Gvardiols. Majority of X of Captain Haaland, Wood versus Haaland. It is then at 3 p.m. Yeah, it's still gonna be more people when we look at the effective ownership. It's gonna be all about Wood. FPL Meerkat, Bruno Fernandes. Oh, he is on a free hit though. There, so that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, it's a strong free hit. Got Evan Nilsson, encouraging. Jay says, I have 9.5 because I have Dango and Burgess. That's not ideal, is it? It's not ideal. Timbers FPL, Trent to Gvardiol, Rogers to Cliver, and playing with 4 at the back. A lot of people, I think most people seem to be playing with 4 at the back here, to be fair. FPL Salah, Trent to Gvardiol, Salah to Cliver, Isak to Haaland. Decided against the bench boost. Wow. How has he managed that, by the way? Just ultra planning for that is a flex and a half. I guess it's kind of like Dango and Colwell. You realistically don't want to play anyway, do you? But no, it's strong. It's strong. Who's it missing? It's got no Forest players though. 0 Forest. James says, a guy I work with took a minus 28 as he didn't press free hit. Jeez Louise. Oh, Doku starts for Man City against Brighton. Is this looking bad for Foden? It is looking pretty bad for Foden, isn't it? Edison is not in the Man City matchday squad versus Brighton. Okay. What else we got? FPL Baltic, who is still in the chat. Yes, Duncan, you are. You've done 2 free transfers under -4. Cunha, Palmer, and Trent to Haaland, Gibbs White, and Murillo. Yes, strong. This looks good. I have got Dango, but like it's not the end of the world, is it? Looks good for KDB if he's got all of the other runners starting. Yeah, I mean, I always forget KDB exists considering he just doesn't play anymore. Let's see some other teams here. Dan Cross, I don't know if he's still here or not, but Cunha to Haaland, Palmer to Cliver, Trent to White Nori. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with any of those transfers either. Was that a hit? Oh, playing with Fabianski. We've got Davis there as well. Maybe play Davis in goal. Still here. Nice to see you, Dan. Yeah, can you play Davis in goal? Maybe that... Look, hey, you never know. Areola could get injured. You never know. FPL Chai did Trent to Gavardio, Salah to Bowen, Watkins to Haaland, Gakpo to Marmoush. So he's actually gone for Marmoush. Brave, man. Brave. Yeah, it is bold. Yeah, I don't know. I think I prefer my team. Like people are gonna slate my team, I think, because it's got no Chris Wood in it. But I think I'm happy with this. Marmoush has returned literally once ever. True. I'm backing Evan Nilsson to the moon. I need to get from third to first for my ego. Mate, I'm there with you, James, with the Evan Nilsson. I'm so there with you. I need him to do something. Like, need. It's got to happen. Because I've just taken a -4 to get him in. I trust him, though. I do trust him. Like, whenever he's played, or certainly, you know, when he's been starting, he's had some really good runs of form. Was that run of form like between game week 6 and 11, which looked very, very good. He did blank a lot around here, though. I didn't know that. Why? Why is the question. Then he started scoring again, and then suddenly he was injured. But he is back. Oh, lineups are out. Brilliant stuff. Let's have a look here. Did we get the... Here we go. Right. So, nothing too scary in the Everton lineup. I'm going to end that poll, by the way. What if I said I wanted Kirkus but fell asleep and missed the price changes? Oh, damn, unlucky, man. Alright, so there's Everton. So Pickford, Mikolenko, Beto, all starting. That's the important thing. For West Ham, we have Bowen, striker again. They really don't trust Ferguson. Is that 5 at the back? Believe it is a 5 at the back. That bad news for Beto. This is a 0-0, isn't it? This is a 0-0 kind of game. Of all of the 3 o'clock games that I will or will not be watching, West Ham Everton, I can't see myself watching that game of football, to be totally honest. It's a 0-0. But Areola is starting ahead of Fabianski, so that is unfortunate for anyone who tried out there, I guess. Ipswich, is there anything FPL relevant here? Maybe Davis? Maybe Delap? I don't know. Forest, we've got all of the big boys playing. I can't see anything surprising there. Nope. Is it unchanged? It is unchanged. It says on screen and it is unchanged. And you know what? Who's on screen right now? The big man himself. The pride of Wales. Nico Williams. That is a sign if I ever did see one. There we go. A child has drawn the Man City lineup apparently. But maybe multiple children. There are different art styles in here, potentially. Lewis is starting. For anyone living in 2024, you've got your player. Gvardiol is here as well. Hang on. Oh, right, okay. No, I see. Gundogan, Savinho, Marmoush, Doku, Haaland. So no Foden or De Bruyne. Marmoush is starting. Haaland is starting. Savinho is starting. Gvardiol is starting. Pretty much everyone other than Foden. I wonder if anyone took of course, Ortega over Edison. We spoke about that earlier. Yeah, hopefully nobody took a punt on Foden. It didn't look good, did it? But alas. As for Brighton, Verbruggen, João Pedro, Minta, Mittelmar. Any surprise benchings there? Not really. Where is Welbeck? He's on the bench. Okay, so João Pedro playing as a striker. And finally, oh no, not finally. We've still got another fixture. Southampton. Harwood Bellis starts if anyone has him. No, Bednarek, he's unavailable, isn't he? Anyone else? Kind of FPL relevant? Probably not. And finally, we've got Strand, Larson, Bellegarde, Manetzi as the kind of attackers there. Nori, we're 5 at the back. Agbadu is starting as well. Nori, we mentioned Sa. Oh, you know what? I need to do my did I already do my? Oh, I need to pick. Did I pick up a goalkeeper? Yeah, I picked up Vicario, didn't I? Right. Let's see here for my sleeper team. Actually, I'll do this off stream. Yeah. Cool. Right, guys. We're gonna leave it there. So, yeah, thank you for joining me for a stream today. All eyes on Nico Williams. No. Hudson-Odoi. No. Evan Nilsson. Oh, I can't wait for the game later, guys. I'm going to be all over Twitter for that one. But, guys, yeah, leaving it there. Thank you so much for joining me for this particularly long stream today. Been a few hours, isn't it? But we love it. Thanks, guys. Good luck this game week. Have fun. I'll try and chat to you guys over on Twitter if you're on there. And, yeah, international break. I'm actually away for a couple of days now. I've never been to Scotland before, so I'm going, basically. I'm going tomorrow. So, yeah, there will be a couple of days without content. But, yeah, just enjoy the football. I'll be back in a few days, I suppose. Thanks, guys. I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.